What is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. And today we are going to be talking about Dardoinkle. Officially in the Smite Pro League, he's kind of expanded his god pool beyond just like the normal, mages, hunters, some assassins, even some guardians when Benny Q's playing that role. I mean, he builds them full damage, so it's not like they're normal guardians. They mostly play like mages, like a Zhong Kui, where they're all in, blink, maybe beads. But a lot of these mid lane picks are true hyper carry gods, and they're not playing to, help their teammates. It's mostly for them to get ahead and for them to 1v5 or just get as much damage off as they can late game. Dardes is officially trying to actually counter pick with his gods in mid. Set, probably one of the best mid laners in the game, has been for 2 years probably now. Dardes doesn't play it. Now, that could be a problem if Dardes has not brought up this counter pick that makes it very hard for the set to do what he wants, and Dardes actually has a winnable matchup into it. And he brought up the Erlang. And before we jump into the Erlang, talking about the Erlang set matchup, Erlang, what it does, why, Dardes did this earlier in this phase also. He played Athena mid. Nobody else played it. It was a jungle god sometimes. It was a support god, solo god. And then Dardes picked it up and he brought it into mid lane. Even though Athena's not really thought of as this hyper carry god, he almost played it like it was a hyper carry. He ulted over to, make plays, save his allies, stuff like that, yes. But he played almost full damage, poly, boombas, and he was trying to get kills on himself so that he could threaten the enemy in 1v1s or 1v2s, and he was popping off with it. This is from earlier in the phase. This is Dardes, the first time he played Athena, and this kind of shows the strength of it. Dash taunt to set that up. And solo potential in duo lane. He ults over, waits out the beads, gets the taunt off, and a free kill. Dragons are up 5-0 at this point, 2,000 gold, and this is 10 minutes into the game. They're playing around the Athena well, and that's the strength of the Athena in the mid game. She's allowed to, make a play in one lane and then ult over to the next lane, or ult over to one lane just right away, and then just 1v2 into a 2v2 just like that. And this Athena was like the first step. I thought this was like the limit to what Dardes would be picking in mid lane. But then we saw him pull out the Erlang mid against the set. And now we've seen it 2 times and he's won both times with it. And Aggro talks about it on his podcast, the Backliners podcast, where is Set the best god or one of the best gods in the game? Yes. Is he so much better and different than all the other roles that if you don't know how to play him, you're trolling? No, he's very good, yes. But if you can play a god that kind of counters him, then it is not the worst thing in the world to not to be able to play the set. And the Dragons have officially found something that works really well into the set, and it's that Erlang, and it's the way Dardes plays this Erlang. So thinking about landing phase, Erlang into set, he goes Death Toll into Xe right off the bat. Little inexpensive power, attack speed, and then some survivability sustained with the Death Toll. And you basically mitigate Set's landing phase. Set, not very great in the landing phase, but Erlang is allowed to bully out a little bit, can pull relics with ult. It's not like a completely dead matchup. Erlang is basically not threatened at all, and then Set can get threatened a little bit. In the mid portion of the game, this is when mages, when they want to rotate out of mid lane to the side lanes, they can't really do that against Set, because if Set is rotating with you, or if Set sees you rotating, he can just dash on you and kill you, chase you down, and you're just done. That's not a thing. Erlang, if you commit to him, he trades damage with you every once in a while. It hits you a little bit. He out trades enough to the point where Set has to, if the Set is maybe ahead, he can get the kill. But if it's even, Erlang out trades. Does not matter if Set has ult. Erlang can ult you in. He gets the mitigation. He reduces your damage. He also is able to sustain just enough. And then he also has the shield from the turtle form. He wins that 1v1. Unless Set's ahead, which shouldn't happen because Erlang farms just as well as the Set does. Erlang will win that 1v1. So now Set's 2 strongest points, where he's a super safe laning phase and a really dominant mid game, are basically null. They're basically gone because this Erlang mitigates a lot of what it wants to do. And then you think about the late game. Well, when you play Erlang and you play him, full damage in the jungle, what's the hardest counter, the worst thing to play into as Erlang? A full damage burst mage who can just one-shot you. It is the worst thing. You blink onto Scylla and then she roots 2s you and you're dead. GG's. But if you look at the comps that teams are playing around this set, there is very little magical burst damage here. Panda is playing auto attack Soul, so he needs to get a lot of auto attacks off. Ronnie's playing Athena. Final K is playing Charon. Those are their 3 magical gods. Not a lot of magical damage. And then physical damage, adapting Shinto. It's not a ton of one-shot potential that the Levi's have through a beads. If Erlang beadses, he runs away from adapting. Adapting doesn't have that one-shot potential. And Set, not really a one-shot character. He's kind of he is a burst character, but he needs to kind of build up to it. So there is a lot of damage potential, but it's not true one-shot potential. This Erlang pick mitigates a lot of what this team wants to do. This play will kind of show you that strength of the Erlang. This is all-in potential onto this Erlang.
ultimate from FineOK, but nobody's
And
really
the Levi's
here to
obviously were
follow
not on the
up
same page.
Dardes. It will
But
be the
Shinto looks for
ultimate,
this.
and everybody turns onto Shinto. He's forced to retreat in the ultimate, and just barely the damage. Not enough yet, but it will be enough to find the mid laner, and the body blocks for Wrong U.
Erlang is a super strong defensive character. If the fight happens towards him, he is incredibly strong. He has really good CC, solid damage, and really good damage returned. If the Set's dashing onto him or dashing into the enemy's backline, that's a perfect fight for Erlang. If Set ever dashes in and Erlang has not overcommitted into the enemy's backline yet, that's just going to be a kill that's happening. He's a god that really pulls Set's beads because of how much CC he has, and then re-CCs him with the root or the ult, whichever one isn't used, and then has the damage to actually kill Set through his ult, which a lot of characters don't have. And then when these fights do start to snowball, Erlang is a very good chase character. He's got the root, he's got the dash. This is such a sick play by Dardes. I love watching just like this mental warfare game. We have officially started to see non-hyper carries in mid, which is awesome, because I think there is something to be said about countering just the enemy mid laner so you can mitigate as much as they do. Mid laners always will be doing something differently. Like ADCs, almost always auto attackers. Solo laners, almost always tanks. Supports, almost always setup characters. Junglers, usually engage characters. Mid lane is the true role that you can do just about anything. We've seen teamfight characters, split pushers, auto attackers, area of effect gods, assassins, blink gods. There's so many cool things that could happen in mid lane, and Dardes is finally kind of breaking out and breaking out of that mold. I'm excited to see if he plays any more Erlang, if he plays it into like different assassins, or if he's just going to play it into Set, or if he's got something else for some other high tier gods like Baba. That's the video. I'm just wanted to talk about Dardes because I think it's so interesting what he's doing over there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.